For some tips. Hi, Marlene.
Hello.
So you're going to tell me everything I need to know about pruning today.
Everything I can in 3 minutes or less.
Oh, that's
about
perfect.
that. Okay, so we're coming up to the fall season where it is time to prune.
Okay.
Most everything. You never want to prune your once blooming spring plants. Like, don't prune camellias right now. Don't necessarily prune all hydrangeas right now. Wisterias, those you do right after they bloom in the spring.
Okay.
But fruit trees and other plants, this is how you're going to want to prune. There are some primary pruning cuts. The first one is called pinching, and you're going to want to do that with your annuals and perennials to make them a little bit bushier. So that's basically, you could even take your little like fingernails and pinch like what you do with basil. We're not going to talk about that now. The other two are heading and thinning cuts. Heading, and I'm going to show that on this plant. This is what happens when you don't exercise your plants, meaning they don't get wind. This one was grown in the conservatory up against a wall.
Okay.
It's floppy. That's why you never want to like really stake them really tight. Anyway, side note, so we're going to drop this.
Okay.
So basically heading back means you're going to drop the length of that branch, but you always want to prune to an outward facing node, which is here.
All right.
And you're going to want to use pear pruners, and the blade should always be closest to the part of the plant that you're going to keep.
Okay.
Basically. So right there. So right there, that is called a heading cut.
Okay.
But what's going to happen is that's going to create more bushiness. For your fruit trees and things you want to thin out, you're going to want to do thinning cuts, meaning thinning. And that you're going to prune. Let's find one here. That would be pruning back a branch all the way to its original source or to another equal size branch. And we're going to do that right here. 2 equal branches here. I'm going to prune the one that's in the center because you always want growth to go out.
Okay.
So right there, I'm going to do that. That would be considered a thinning cut. You're going to create less bushiness because you just removed that branch that could have all those dormant buds that would cause more bushy growth. So heading and thinning cuts, those are going to be your friends for your fall fruit tree pruning and pretty much any pruning in general. Like this, if I wanted to drop the height, I'm going to do more heading cuts. And I'm actually going to do this to get it back in my car.
Okay.
Like
How
that.
did you get here then?
It was in my car. It was just,
no.
that's why. But so right now I just use primarily heading cuts to lower it. It's going to bush out more.
Yeah.
And if I wanted to thin it out more, I would do my heading cuts and remove them all the way down to their original source.
Is there anything you could do that could harm the tree?
Yes, you don't want to prune right before a heavy rainstorm.
Okay.
And you also want to prune at a 45-degree angle so water come off. You never want to prune into the branch collar of a tree.
All right.
So the trees have that sort of circular round, it's called the collar of the branch. You never want to prune into that.
Okay.
Try not to leave stubs because those could heal incorrectly. A tree is programmed to sort of heal right at that point of where the nodes are at. And those are basically, you know, use clean cuts. If it's a big limb, do a preliminary cut to get the weight off and then do one closer. So when you cut, you're not taking all that weight off and it could strip and peel basically bark off of the tree trunk.
Oh,
So,
that's perfect. Well, thank you so much for this information, Marlene. We appreciate you, and we'll see you again soon.